Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. I'm Jackson Mvunganyi. This week on the Red Carpet, we look at the legacy of Ethiopian singer Chalos Legacy, who died 4 years ago. And we catch up with Angolan athlete Andre Mathias to talk about how he's preparing for the upcoming Olympic Games. Those stories plus, it was a night of celebration at this year's BET Awards. Let's get on with the show. Ethiopian jazz icon Mulatu Astake performed recently in front of a sold-out crowd at Howard Theater in Washington, D.C. Astake is widely known as the godfather of Ethio jazz, a genre he helped create over 60 years ago. The multi-instrumentalist leads his band while playing vibraphone and conga drums, instruments that he introduced into Ethiopian popular music. Asha, Victoria Monet, and Tyla were some of the big winners of the 2024 BET Awards, which took place at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. Hosted by actress Taraji P. Henson, the awards that celebrate Black excellence featured performances from Lauryn Hill, Will Smith were for our success, saying, "I just want to dedicate this one to Africa. You know, I want to dedicate this one to all the African superstars before me that didn't get these opportunities that I'm getting right now," she said. Makazi, another South African singer, also nabbed a BET award in the Viewer's Choice Best New International Act category. Nigerian singer Thames won the Dr. Bobby Jones Best Gospel Inspirational Prize. Her song, Me and You, beat out gospel powerhouses Kirk Franklin, CeCe Winans, and Maverick City Music. This June the 29th marked 4 years since the death of Chalos Legacy, the iconic Ethiopian singer, songwriter, and civil rights activist who was known for both his powerful music and messages of peace. Seattle-based musician and artist Yadesa Bojia, who produced a tribute hit song to Chalos' life, talks with me about Chalos' legacy, how his life and death left an indelible mark on his country. His legacy continues to resonate in the hearts of Ethiopians, particularly the Oromo people, for whom he was a passionate advocate. Let's check it out. At the time of his death, 34-year-old Chalos Legacy was one of the most popular musicians in Ethiopia. He started his activism as a high school student. At the age of 17, he was arrested for his civil rights activism and spent 5 years in prison, where he started writing songs weaving themes of romance with the yearnings for political freedom. Yadesa Bojia, an Ethiopian musician based in Washington, Seattle, says that Chalos' music captured the stories of Oromo aspirations and grievances, providing a powerful outlet for expression and unity.
Chalos is simply one of the most interesting and more impactful artists that rolls in East Africa, or Africa at whole. Chalos was in prison before. Chalos will also be killed, as we already know, sadly. But what makes him different from a lot of other musicians and artists is his clarity and understanding of human rights, and using his voice to speak, and using his art to speak for millions. He actually died for that cause.
His murder sparked massive protests in Ethiopia. Young people took to the streets demanding justice. Yadesa paid tribute to his legacy through music.
I was lucky enough to meet him multiple times. He called me my big brother. Last text I got from him is like, "How you do, my big brother?" And send me some art and sketch that he did. He's always he called me big brother for some reason, but we are from the same area. When we go out, so my families know each other, and I know his father and his mom. So I met him multiple times. I never get a chance to collaborate with him, not even I think about collaborating with him. But after he passed away, I made a single called Chalos for him. in a crazy way, people in Japan and places like that, when they listen to this music that I did for them. But I also able to get a chance to submit his work to the Grammys and able to feature him on the Billboard magazine and things like that. So I try to my best to enlighten his life, to continuously talk about him, so the memories that they want to die never dies. It's actually the one of Africans' bright and shining actor and musician and artist that passed away and across African history.
And 4 years down since his death, how do you see his music influencing the current social and political landscape in Ethiopia?
Well, what Hachalu did is he showed how music and art can be used to express people's feelings. Because of that, a lot of young Oromo musicians are using his legacy to fill that gap. It's a big shoes to fill, but they're all trying to do it.
Much of the stand-up comedy in the United States is rooted in the country's freedoms of speech. In Southern California, that attracts immigrant comedians eager to express their opinions and make people laugh. Jinia Dulo has our story.
Every time I tell people I'm Cambodian, they're like, Samoan?
Cambodian comedian Lin Sun came to the United States when she was 6 months old. Growing up in Southern California was tough, she says. When she became a single mom, it became even tougher.
Y'all ready for my show? Come on!
Then she discovered stand-up comedy.
My dad was abusive, you know what I mean? And he didn't know any better. It's just how it was back in, Cambodia, I guess. The men were very masculine and didn't know how to control it. That's how I grew up, and I use that in my material. And I take that and make it funny. And it's gold because people like it when they connect with you, when you're real, when you're authentic, when you're yourself.
Cambodia, the refugee camp with the starving people. Yes, I'm starving.
University of Southern California stand-up comedy historian Wayne Federman says comedy in America has immigrant roots.
The reason that immigrants and the sons and daughters of immigrants are drawn to stand-up comedy is because, one, it's a way of telling your story, not just, oh, I'm just part of this crazy wave of people that came here. It's like, I have a specific point of view. And the whole idea of stand-up comedy is your version of the world.
Federman says U.S. freedoms of speech also draw immigrant comedians. Alexander Nizlobin is a popular Russian comedian who fled to the United States after criticizing Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
In the United States, you could have problem for your comedy if you're doing strong jokes about minorities, about communities, about LGBTQ, something like that. And we know the cases like where stand-up comedian was canceled. But you can say anything about politics. In Russia, the opposite. You can say everything about LGBTQ, but don't say jokes about politics.
Nizlobin's group Stand Up LA caters to comedy for Russian-speaking immigrants. Ukrainian refugee Dmitry Adamov found some of the comedian's jokes offensive.
My dad died back in Mariupol, and I couldn't go back there to attend his funeral. And now I can't go there and see my mother and my brother with his family. These jokes right now are not appropriate for me.
Adamov agrees the jokes are free speech, just as he is free to walk out of the show if he is offended, which he did. Jinia Dulo, VOA News, Los Angeles.
After participating in the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games, Andre Mathias initially planned to put his oars away. However, an opportunity to compete in the African Rowing Championship secured his ticket to Paris. We caught up with him during his morning practice on the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. The Angolan athlete shares his dreams for the upcoming Paris Games with VOA's Mayra de la Salette. Let's check it out.
My name is Andre Mathias. I'm 35 years old. I'm a rower from Angola. And Paris 2024 will be my second Olympics. I grew up in Angola and I came to the United States for boarding school. And this is where I learned to row. And in the summers I would go back home and I would row in Luanda. And the summer of my senior year, when I was graduating high school, I was invited to represent Angola at the All-Africa Games in Algeria, and I was the first Angolan rower to race at an international event for Angola. I think that the Olympics for sports, amateur sports like rowing, there's nothing like it. You know, we don't have professional contracts. There's no fame, there's no money, but to be able to be amongst the world's best and compete, every 4 years is truly special. So, in the summer last year when I had this crazy idea is because, I still had a fire in me and I believed that I could still get in a final to be a finalist, and in that final I just needed to be top 5. And if I could do that, I could be at the Olympics again.
Keeping the focus on just feeling that boat coming underneath us.
A great achievement for me at the Paris Olympics would be to get into Final D or Final E, which would put me in the top 24 at the Olympics, and that's something I'd like to do. In practice, there can be some serenity sometimes. You wake up and maybe there's a bit of fog on the water, the sun's coming out, a sense of calm, you feel the water rushing under you, but then, another practice, you're doing pieces and feels like your heart's about to explode and your brain's telling you to stop. And certainly in a race, it's a sport that when you look at it from the outside, it looks very, very calm and controlled, but it's just violence. And in the inside, you feel like you're burning alive. So it's not a pleasant experience, but there's a mix of emotions, enjoying your time out on the water, and even enjoying the thrill of racing or when you win, and the sharp contrast, which is, to get faster, to win, you have to be able to push your limits. I want to show my countrymen that anything is possible. We are surrounded at the Olympics by Angolan athletes that are amongst the best in the world, the best in the African continent, and this is something for us to be proud of, getting them to fulfill their dreams at the Olympics someday.
Thanks for watching VOA's Red Carpet. I'm Jackson Mvunganyi. For more entertainment news, remember to check us out at voaafrica.com. We are also on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Until next time.